So anime has officially beaten wokeness, and this time there's no denying it, because Superman, Fantastic Four, every other piece of shit that Marvel has put out has been beaten by an anime movie that isn't even the best that the medium has to offer. But before we get into it, if you like these type of videos and you want to help out the channel, then maybe consider supporting me over on Patreon or subscribing. Oh yeah, and also before I continue, it seems that a lot of people who have never read a Wolverine comic in their life have flocked to my channel for some reason. So to those people, go back to the hood or being gay or whatever it is that you're good at. So anyway, back to the video for the people who actually have brain cells. So you see here, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle has passed 600 million worldwide. So already that's absolutely insane, especially for an anime movie. And I'll just touch on Demon Slayer for a small bit, because I don't really believe it's the exact movie that counts or anime. I think it's just the sentiment that a Japanese movie in anime has beaten Superman, Fantastic Four, and all the other crap. Now about Demon Slayer, I haven't watched this movie, I'm probably not going to. I do consider myself a fan of anime and manga, and that doesn't mean stuff like Demon Slayer that came out in the last few years and is basically for 10-year-olds. I tried watching a bit of Demon Slayer and it was just like every other new shonen. I don't really have time for Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, because in my opinion, although they're a lot better than all of the American stuff that is coming out right now, they're still not all that great. It's not like Demon Slayer sucked or anything, but the guys who made Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man are both freaks in real life. But in this situation, I think the point still stands that an anime is at the top of the box office. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of Demon Slayer, and I do believe that there's much better anime out there that people haven't even seen yet, regardless, I think this counts as a win. Because after all the people online, the people who watch this channel, me who actually made the videos calling Superman and Fantastic Four flops, have all been proven right when an anime movie comes out and beats all of it. I can't be the only one who finds this absolutely hilarious, the fact that Demon Slayer has surpassed Superman at the box office. It's just like a massive middle finger in the face of every single retard who buys into this propaganda like Superman and Fantastic Four. I don't think people realize how big this is, the fact that it beat Fantastic Four, Superman, and Captain America. If you said this 10 years ago that an actual anime movie would beat a Captain America movie and a Superman one, people would just laugh in your face. And look, I'll be honest, it's not like Demon Slayer has a massive passionate fan base that brought it to this level. Really, to break it down, I can make multiple videos on this. I don't really know if you'd like to see that, so if you would, let me know. But anime and manga kind of has a problem nowadays. The fact that in the last few couple of years, the art form and the medium and the fan base has been hijacked by people from the hood who are not real fans and gay freaks who want to make everything gay. It sounds kind of funny when you say it like that, like it can't be true, but trust me, it is. All you have to do is just look up some statistics to see that a lot of people are watching this dubbed. And look, you can watch anime whatever way you want to, but in my personal opinion, it's kind of retarded to watch it dubbed. For example, I'm a massive fan of Japanese cinema, so would you press play on Seven Samurai with a dub with a big load of 30-year-olds who sound gay? No, you'd watch it with the original audio and subtitles, the way it was intended. And in my opinion, the same goes for anime. People try to make arguments about certain things, like Cowboy Bebop. And I watched a bit of Cowboy Bebop dubbed, but in my opinion, I find every single dub cringe, because it turns anime from a mature thing that isn't just a cartoon into a totally different vibe that just wasn't intended. But back to the problem of fake fans and tourists. Now, some people have commented on this channel calling me a tourist, which is kind of impossible. I'll just put it out there. I've been into anime like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and My Hero Academia before, and then I realized all of that was retarded hood weeb tourist garbage. And in recent times, I've come to embrace the older manga and anime from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And if you can't do that, and all you've ever seen is this brand new Demon Slayer movie dubbed, then you're not really an anime fan. There's people watching this who have never ever seen the anime, which would make sense if Demon Slayer was some episodic thing that you didn't need to know about before you went into a movie, except it is. And I've made multiple videos on anime and manga from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that you should check out if you're interested in becoming a real fan. And screw that, not even becoming a real fan, just having respect. If you can't look at stuff like Devilman, Astro Boy, Golgo 13, City Hunter, Cat's Eye, Space Pirate Captain Harlock, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, If you can't look at all of that stuff and realize that that is what anime and manga is, it's not just Cowboy Bebop, Akira, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Now I'm gonna have to move on because I could just make multiple videos talking about this subject, but if you want the biggest example of tourists and fake fans, then all you have to do is look to Berserk. Now I don't know if I'm alone in this, but in the last few weeks on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, I've seen a massive rise in the fan base of Berserk. Now I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Berserk. I do think it's a ripoff of Devilman, Fist of the North Star, and Conan, all smashed into one big thing with a lot of abuse involved. They're making jokes about it, trying to turn characters gay, and anybody who says otherwise, they're calling them an elitist gatekeeper neckbeard. Like in all of these subcultures like comics and heavy metal, you'll have these retards who will call you an elitist gatekeeper if you say anything that isn't the status quo. I'm saying it right now, you can watch and read any anime and manga you want to, but I'm just putting it out on the table that if you don't respect stuff like Astro Boy and Devilman, things that laid the groundwork for everything you're watching right now. There is no Demon Slayer, there is no Berserk. There is no Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan without Devilman. If you can't realize or respect that, then you're a fake fan and a tourist. I don't really make the rules, it's just a fact. And the same goes with comics, like on my recent video, where I've just had an army of people who have never read Wolverine in their life, getting mad for some reason. These spastics should go back to being a furry or whatever the hell it is that they do. Now to end the video, I'll just bring up this. So I have a lot to say about this certain figure right here, and you can't really say a lot of it. I can't really get into why, but all I'll say is that there's a lot of distractions going on. You can't really trust what people say. But anyways, moving on from that, Donald Trump is imposing a 100% tariff on movies that are made outside of America. So I'm not going to go really deep on this, but I do think it's retarded. When the best hope you have is an anime movie that beats out all of the American shit in terms of quality, in terms of money made at the box office, and this is your response, I don't know what's wrong. Sometimes people have to realize that the media that comes from a different country with a different language can actually be better than the American tripe. And it's 100% fact, and in my opinion, it's always been this way. And recently, I got into the Lupin the Third franchise that I do recommend if you're watching this video. Just watch any of the animes or the movies and you'll be blown away with how influential and kick-ass this anime is. But that could be a whole different video. My point is, the classic 70s Studio Ghibli movie, Castle of Cagliostro, is 10 times better than every single American animated movie I've ever seen, and it beats out a lot of live action crap as well. But because it was made in Japan and it's Japanese, it doesn't really get the respect it deserves. Now you can talk about the other Miyazaki stuff that has gotten a lot of respect over the years, but you do have to admit that just because something is Japanese, a lot of people are turned off by it. And the final nail in the coffin is, if you think that way, then you're stupid, because most of the time it's better. And this is just one of those many cases that stands out as a middle finger to wokeness, to retards who said that Superman was a masterpiece, and to the people that can't accept that America just cannot make quality content nowadays without it being retarded and political. So that was just a quick video. I could make many other videos on multiple subjects that I talked about in this video. If you want that type of content, let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you've never checked out any of the stuff that I'm talking about, I do think that you should, because as I said, it beats everything that's American. And if you're one of those woke retards that has a problem, go complain to your boyfriend.